everyone. We are the Group 5, and for today, we are going to have a trip down memory lane as we look back on the humble beginnings of the tourism and hospitality industry. Next slide. And these are the group members.
Tourism in the 19th century. Travel and exploration are basic to human nature. Man has traveled since the earliest times, although the term tourism was only used in the 19th century. The word tourism is derived from the Hebrew word Torah, which means studying, learning, and searching. Also, the first travel agency's creation was happened in the 19th century. Next slide. Now let's move on to the modern tourism. Two technological developments in the early parts of the 19th century had a great effect on the growth of tourism. These were the introduction of the railway and the development of steam power. The railroads created not only more business by providing reliable and cheap transportation, but also more competition as various private companies invested heavily in hotels, resorts, and entertainment facilities. The second one is the steam power. The use of steam power, the increase of mobility needed in the tourism business. Steamers on the major rivers provided reliable and inexpensive transportation that led to the popular day trip cruises and the growth of coastal resorts near large industrial towns.
Thomas Cook, 1808 to 92, a book salesman, Baptist, preacher, and truck distributor in Derbyshire, was a pioneer in the tourist industry. The map discussed in this exhibit was created by his company, Thomas Cook and Son, which is in its 175th year of business today. Next slide po. The brochures Cook's Ocean Sailing List and A Cook's Ticket Brings the World to You are two of the over 10,000 brochures currently in the firm's archive. According to Paul Smith, the company's archivist, Thomas Cook's son, John, was the one who was more commercially minded and consequently internationalized the company with offices in the US, Egypt, and India. Next slide po.
Around 1874, Thomas Cook introduced the circular notes. This financial product became much better known through the American Express brand of traveler's checks, which were introduced in 1891.
The tour is to be an agent of human progress. The tours in the 1880s in the dependent nations and colonies of the British Empire reverted to a rich man's business tourism for aristocrats. By this time, Thomas Cook and Son had become an institution of the British Empire, both representative of and crucial to the operation of the empire and departing significantly from the moral and social principles upon which the tours were originally founded. Next slide po.
Development of steam vehicles. This was the first full-scale operational steam locomotive built for railroad. High-pressure steam was used in the design, one of the several significant advances that let the engine run more efficiently and with less weight. The Liverpool and Manchester Railway opened in 1830 using only steam power for both passenger and freight trains. Next slide. Catch Me Who Can was the first locomotive in the world to transport fare-paying passengers when demonstration runs started in July 1808. Next slide. Salamanca. It had two cylinders for the first time. It was so called in honor of the Duke of Wellington's triumph at the Salamanca fight, which took place in the same year. Next slide. Locomotion number 1, or originally named Active. It made history by pulling a passenger train on the Stockton and Darlington Railway, being the first steam engine to do so, SNDR. Next slide. Stephenson rocket. Demonstrate that better locomotives would be more effective than stationary steam engines. Next slide.
Hospitality in the 19th century. The concept of hospitality industry is as old as civilization itself. It's developed from the ancient custom of breaking bread with a passing stranger to the operations of today's multifaceted hospitality conglomerates makes fascinating reading and is interesting comparisons can be made with today's hospitality management. The word hospitality comes from the word hospice, an old French word meaning to provide care or shelter for travelers. In the early 18s, inns were the only lodging facility available for the tourist. A lot of inns were established prior to 19th century, but lodging was not about bedding and resting facility anymore. They started to provide food and drinks to the travelers, and soon the element of luxury started to blend in. This gave birth to hotels. Hotels emerged as as sophisticated facilities which provide better rooms and dining areas. The year of 1829 is considered as a landmark in the timeline of the American hospitality industry. It was the year when an American architect, Isaiah Rogers, designed and constructed the first luxury hotel, the Tremont Hotel in Boston, Massachusetts, which later on discussed by the other reporters. Next slide.
Antonin Carême cuisine was famous for its decorative and elaborate display. Carême's ideas include an emphasis on the artful presentation of dishes and on the use of fresh ingredients. He published a collection of recipes, instructions, and information about the preparation and serving of foods. Cesar Rich was also the manager of many high-end hotels such as the Splendid in Paris and the Grand Hotel National in Tournai, but he is most known for his involvement in the Savoy Hotel and the Ritz Hotel in London. Hotel Ritz in Paris. He was an early hotel chain founder known as King Hoteliers and Hotelier to Kings, and it is from his name and that of his hotels that the term Ritz is derived. Auguste Escoffier left behind a legacy in French culinary industry still enjoyed by professional chefs everywhere because he invented some 5,000 recipes published in Le Guide Culinary. The guide been translated into English as the complete guide to the art of modern cookery.
Ellsworth Milton Statler. He is the father of modern hospitality. Statler was a hotel businessman that founded Statler Hotels, one of the most major hotel chains at that time. And in 1950, he became known as the largest contributor to the science of innkeeping in the hotel man of the half century. He also developed the slogan which saying customer is always right. This phrase is the foundation to our modern day hospitality industry. And according to some research, Statler took Spain to provide comfort and convenience in his hotel. So this model has carried its way throughout industry thanks to the seller.
Now, let's move on to Delmonicos. Beginning as a small cafe and pastry shop in 1827. It means in the mid-19th century, Delmonico's restaurant in New York, which is cited as the first 1827 official restaurant in the United States. For everyone, informations, Delmonico is famous in steak, on thick steak prepared in a style made famous in the mid-19th century. Delmonico's eventually grew into a hospitality empire that encompassed several luxury restaurants catering to titans of industry, the political elite, and cultural luminaries. For additional information, Delmonico's was opened by Italian-Swiss immigrants, which is the brothers Giovanni and Pietro Delmonico. Next, we have Hotel del Coronado. It's also the second largest such structure in the United States, built in 1888.
This is the second largest structure in the United States on 1888. So first, what is Hotel del Coronado? Hotel del Coronado is famous because it is one of the last surviving wooden Victorian beach resorts in the world and debuted as an architectural masterpiece. Acclaimed for its spectacular seaside setting and world-famous weather. For additional information, Hotel del Coronado is a historic beachfront hotel located in the San Diego Bay from San Diego, California. Next slide.
European Plan, or EP, means that only staying is included in the rates, that you have to pay extra for using the hotel's dining facilities. In general term, it can be called the room-only plan. A European plan is a lodging agreement in which the hotel is included but no meals are provided in the package price. Tremont Hotel is a Hyatt Roger designed and constructed the first luxury hotel, Tremont Hotel, in Boston, Massachusetts. The hotel was a water raised by its steam power pump and the storage tank on its roof, where it fades a gravity to the tops. That's all, thank you. May the last month of the year give us a good health and happiest Christmas. May this month bring us a joy. Thank you.